Wow, yo, welcome back. Baller Central Podcast. We have a solo dolo episode today. The three guys are busy this week, par obligations, but the show must go on. It's your host, Phil, for this week. Let me get a better one. We Elijah's the only one with the soundboard, so I gotta improvise. So let's see, what else can we get? Let's get a drum roll. Hey, we are here. Just a quick recap. We had the Super Bowl, NBA games, etc., etc. But hey, today we got a good amount to talk about. Got some topics down to chat. Solo dolo. Feel free to I think if you're watching this on YouTube, comment down below any what's it called any debate you have with what I said, or if you have any. I know we're going over some of the NFL season recap of mini one, and then a halfway awards for the NBA season. So let me know what you guys think about what I said, and if you have any other picks, let me know. Yeah, a little bit of a strange intro, but hey, we're here. Baller Central Podcast can be found on all social media platforms down below. You can read that. See every Wednesday. Well, I think since I'm recording this on a Thursday, it will be Friday at noon. YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. So make sure you follow all those if you want to hear us. Follow our social medias: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we play video games on Twitch. So make sure to tune into that. So with that being said, Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs are your NFL Super Bowl champions as of this year. They beat the Philadelphia Eagles 38-35, I believe. So very, very high scoring offense versus another high scoring offense. It was a great match, 38-35. The over was 50.5, so definitely went over. Pat Mahomes off a bum ankle put on he didn't. He was very slow the first half, but then picked it up in the second half. But then this order was the Eagles defense that had trouble showing up just because the Chiefs let up 0 sacks involved. So the Eagles were performing very well off the first half, but then as soon as the second half came along, not much to show for it. Jalen Hurts though, 340 total yards, 2 passing touchdowns and a rush, I believe. Overall, very good game, but he did have a very costly turnover to help give the Chiefs momentum in the third quarter, I believe. Nick Bolton returned fumble touchdown. So, I mean, just like going off of that, I think the Chiefs were very criticized off of their offseason from the previous year. No Tyreek Hill, so they might worry about the offense. Patrick Mahomes doesn't have the 2 best weapons he has. He just has Kelsey, but through everything, they signed Juju. They got Kadarius Toney, who both played crucial moments in the game. Toney had the touchdown and the kick return, and Juju had some clutch catches here and there. But through all the adversity and through everything, they still managed to get a 1 seed and make the Super Bowl run, even though a lot of people said they wouldn't. A lot of people had the Bills winning. A lot of people had the Eagles winning. Not a lot of people had the Chiefs to come back to the Super Bowl, even though they've made it the last 3 times out of the 5 years. So congrats to them. Also, congrats to the Eagles. Very good season. Jalen Hurts, MVP candidate season. I don't think they're officially done as a Super Bowl candidate. I think they'll be here for a good amount of time as long as, they focus on Jalen Hurts and probably improve that defense because the secondary could use some work because who knows who's going to stay, who's not. Bad Burgers might be a free agent and others. So as long as they, keep that core together, and we just got to see how they perform. So, hey, congrats. Mahomes got MVP, even though he deserves it after a clutch third and fourth quarter. I just think that the Chiefs' defense meant more to the game than that, just because you held the Eagles to a good 35 points, but the second half, you stopped them when you needed to help get the momentum back to the offense. So I just think we need to acknowledge how great the defense did, even though 35 points allowed isn't always a total, but they stopped them in crucial moments to force a field goal, force a punt to help get the Chiefs back on the field. So for the Chiefs, I believe, hey, keep doing what you're doing. I think Andy Reid is still going to be coach for a little while longer, so that's good. You still have Mahomes, Kelsey. I think try to beef up that O-line. Juju Smith-Schuster, I think, will stay. The offense is decent. Probably the secondary, improve the secondary. The Chiefs D line is good. Just basically make some small tweaks here and there, especially on the O line and secondary. You should be fine. You should be able to contend for a repeat. The Eagles, like I said, secondary help. Figure out what the O line is doing because the O line is up there in age. I don't know how much longer Jason Kelsey is playing, one of the premier centers in the league. So probably look for some answers there, and then probably get a replacement for Bradbury as well, since he might be out the door. So then we have some of the biggest surprises for the NFL season. This is the good surprises because next we'll have the letdowns. For the surprises, let me go with the Jaguars. Very one of the very top choices for this. They were struggling beginning of the year, obviously, because they came off a rough season with the whole drama with Urban Meyer, etc. But worked their way down. The Titans and the Jaguars flip flopped at the half of the season, and then they were able to jump them to get the season lead, and they got a very, very impressive win against the Chargers. I come back at halftime, they were down by 20 plus points. So I think the Jaguars are a very good surprise. Not a lot of people saw it coming, especially everyone was looking down on Trevor Lawrence after that first year. But they got a decent coach, and they made some good signings. Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Alakon from the Falcons. A lot of good pieces to help them compete, and compete is what they did. Let's see, two more. You know what? The Jets in the first half of the season and a little bit after the first half of the season was a good surprise, just because Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams, the defense looked very well, but then the offense, as soon as Zach Wilson stepped in, became stagnant. As soon as Breece Hall got injured, a lot of the offense had troubles because most of the Jets are a run first offense, and once their top rusher went out for the season, they continued to struggle because if Zach Wilson was throwing the ball a lot, the passes weren't made or they're intercepted. So, but they did have a good season the first half because they started off with a good record. They even beat the Bills and the Packers, so very good surprise. Hopefully they can do better next season hopefully with a different quarterback, whether it's Lamar, Aaron Rodgers, etc. But hey, we'll see. Another good surprise. I'll say the Steelers. Mike Tomlin. Obviously, you're expected for him to go at least 500 or more every season, but with the roster he had this year, Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, no Juju Smith-Schuster, and TJ Watt was out for 3, 4, 5 games, and you still managed to do that. Very, very deserved thumbs up. Or like I said, the Steelers fans always are used to championships and playoffs, but at least it's a good thing to hang. It's a good sign if your team's doing this well without the star player and you almost made playoffs, because they were on the edge of making the playoffs too. So shout out to them. And I think that's it. Yeah. So the biggest letdowns, I'll have to say, Tennessee Titans. They won their division last year. Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill. Obviously, the loss of AJ Brown meant something because that offense looked wild without him. They even had Malik Willis looking like he had no clue what he was doing out there. The Broncos, easy. You sign Russell Wilson, all the hype. The offense is going to be electric. You lose Javonte Williams halfway. Cortland Sutton didn't show up. Jerry Jeudy showed up at the end of the season. Good. The defense held its own because it was still one of the best defenses in the league, even with them shipping out one of their best linebackers. Who was it? Who did they trade to the Dolphins? Well, let me check. Broncos trade to Miami. Who was it? Bradley Chubb. Yeah, the defense was still holding up even without Bradley Chubb, one of the cornerstones, and they lost Von Miller the year before. So, now they have Sean Payton, so hopefully the offense could get better. Hopefully he's not going to sell for any of Russ Wilson's bullshit, like the whole diva treatment, his office and parking spot, etc., etc. Everything has to be earned, especially with the way they performed last year. And another obvious one, the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, you expect for him to be a playoff contender year in, year out, but the offense, the wide receivers weren't on the same page this year. Christian Watson had a decent season. He got some touchdowns here and there, but nothing more. Alan Lazard is most likely out the door because going off his last interview, he seemed like that he didn't want to be on the team anymore since Aaron Rodgers might be out the door. Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon regressed mightily because last year everyone was saying that coming into this season he would be maybe like a top 15, top 20 running back. He would have chances to produce, but he didn't get that much. He didn't get that many chances to produce because his running wasn't there. They'd favor Aaron Jones more, and Aaron Jones might be out the door too. So a lot of questions for the Green Bay Packers and their offense. Is it Jordan Love time? Is it time to rebuild? I guess after Aaron Rodgers' darkness retreat, we'll see what happens. So, what else? Another disappointing team. I mean, you can say the Dolphins because the whole Tyreek Hill acquisition, but like I said, Tua had that scary injury with the concussions, so they didn't get. I mean, they didn't get a chance. But hey, it's football. Show must go on. Games must go on. They didn't make the playoffs, but I think with a healthy Tua, they should make the playoffs next year. And the Buffalo Bills were also very disappointing. A lot of people beginning season were crowning them Super Bowl champions already, just for a disappointing performance at home against the Bengals. I mean, you got to figure out what you want to do on offense. Josh Allen can be your leading running back every single year, and he did the same thing last year. Even though you guys traded for Naheem Hines, the only memorable thing he did was 2 kickoff return touchdowns against New England. So you guys got to figure out a running game. You have to give Stephon Diggs some help just because Gabriel Davis and others are not going to cut it. Dawson Knox is here. It has limited opportunities, but he shows up at least when he's given the limited opportunities. So you guys got to figure out the offense. Maybe a D-Hop or get another receiver besides Diggs to help him out. So Josh Allen can spread the offense more. Don't have to try to be the leading rusher every single game. Where else? I think that's good. Titans, Colts. The Raiders. The Raiders had Devontae Adams, Derek Carr, Hunter Renfrow was hurt, Darren Waller was hurt. Josh Jacobs was the leading rusher in the NFL, I believe. I think he finished as the most yards. So Josh McDaniels, not a very good first season with them, 6-11. I felt like if you have that prolific of an offense, you have one of the best receivers added to your offense. That should help you win games. But a lot of people on different pages, it didn't mesh out. So it looks like Derek Carr is out the door already. So it's Jarrett Stidham time. Who knows if Dante Adams stays? Who knows if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Raiders? A lot of question marks for the Raiders. So hey, we got a whole long ass offseason to figure it out. That was a letdown. And let's see. Some of my favorite players I like to watch this year. I'm just gonna list some of them off my fantasy team. Just because I drafted them for a reason. I think Jalen Hurts was very fun to watch this year. Running, passing the ball, running the electric Philadelphia offense with A.J. Brown, Goddard, and Devontae Smith. Dallas Goedert was also one of my favorite tight ends to watch this year. Just like his commitment, his catching ability in the Super Bowl and this whole year was amazing. He had some really tough catches, and that doesn't get shown enough. Let's see, hold on. Jamar Chase, he was one of my fantasy wide receivers. Always fun to watch. Him and Joe Burrow's connection is electric. Who else? I think that's it. Dameon Pierce, he was one of the candidates for Rookie of the Year. Didn't win it, obviously, but I think if you get a decent quarterback and a decent offense around them, I think Dameon Pierce could make some noise in the future. Who else? Let's see who else. Who won the awards? Let me check. Mahomes was MVP, deservedly so. Any defense? The defensive. That's on my team. Jack Jones was good on the Patriots for defense. Got some clutch interceptions, especially against Green Bay. Also, a bunch of the San Francisco offense was very fun to watch. Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, Purdy, and CMC all had a good season. It showed that even when all you need in that San Francisco offense is a decent quarterback, not the best, and you can still produce. It was just tough to see him lose off of 2 quarterback injuries, and they wouldn't have any more quarterbacks on the list. So very tough to see that team lose. Let's see. Who else? CD Lamb was also another good one to watch. Garrett Wilson, both electric wide receivers. I'm going off of our host teams. I think that's, let's see, NFC East. Let me check the divisions. Um, Diggs is always good to watch. Tyreek Hill, racking up all those yards and receptions this year with Tua, with Skylar Thompson, with Teddy Bridgewater was amazing to watch. Sauce Gardner putting up a defensive rookie of the year candidate year was also very good to watch. J.K. Dobbins has some good running games. Also, a lot of question marks about Cleveland. We got to see how Deshaun Watson goes with a full year with the Browns. So excited to see that. I think okay, thanks everyone. And so, team MVPs. This is where I'm going to give you the MVPs for since we have time, since it's just me. All four of our co-hosts, the Jets, Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. Two easy choices. They're both the award winners. Sauce Gardner, Defensive Rookie of the Year, had an amazing season as a corner. He even got his own sponsorship by Buffalo Wild Wings. Sauce, come on, the Sauce Gardner. I don't know what's called specifically, but had a great year. Garrett Wilson, another phenomenal Jets rookie that had another good year, deserving to win the award. Even with Zach Wilson, Mike White, and Joe Flacco, he managed to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. So that deserves MVP of its own. So the Cowboys, Michael Parsons obviously is your choice for a team MVP for defense. When Dak was out, he helped carry the defense to help them win games when they shouldn't have won games. For the offensive side, I'm gonna say Tony Pollard and or CD Lamb, just because Tony Pollard had a lot of electric games. I know because I had him as one of my fantasy running backs. A lot of electric games, receiving and running the ball. So a guy who could do both. And he definitely gave Zeke a scare this year for his starting job. So it all depends if they can re-sign him or not. Because worst case scenario, I think Zeke or Pollard might be out. I don't think both of them are going to be on the same team this year unless Zeke takes a massive pay cut. See, for the Giants, representing John, MVP Saquon Barkley for offense, and you could say Daniel Jones as well. Saquon coming back from a major injury, and Daniel Jones with Brian Daboll as their head coach improved significantly from last year. His throws, he was making smarter passes, less turnovers, and when he made very, very clutch plays during clutch games, etc. During the Vikings, during the Packers games, he just showed a lot of improvement from last year. It was always great to see. Defense. Defense. Is that what it seems? I'm just saying the defense as a whole, just because the defense was very clutch in keeping them in games. That was the main thing, because the offense wasn't the best on paper, but the defense was the MVP of them holding in games. Since I can't name anyone specifically, but their defense was the reason why they stayed in some of the games that they won. So shout out to the defense. For the Patriots, defensive MVP obviously Matt Judon. I think he was top 5, top 3 in sacks this year. Always a wrecking ball. I'm glad we signed him from Baltimore. I think this is his second or third year going into New England, so excited to see what he does next. And offensive MVP, I'm gonna have to go with Ramondre Stevenson. It's either him or Jacoby, because I don't think Mac did enough to get that MVP from me this year. Jacoby always a reception magnet, gets receptions when he needed, and Ramondre had a very good stretch where he was one of the top fantasy running backs of the league. Receptions, running, etc., touchdowns as well. Just a very costly turnover near the end of the year against the Raiders and against the Bengals. But at overall, looking at it at a whole perspective, he still had a good year. So shout out to him. So Cowboys, Jets, Giants, Patriots. Okay, there's the 4 MVPs. Let's see, next one. Teams to keep an eye on. So next year, just a few teams that could maybe be on shocker alert. The Jaguars, of course, they get Calvin Ridley back, so that offense is going to be even more dynamic with Ingram, Kirk, and Marvin Jones. So they had another weapon. And you have to worry about Christian Kirk. They get even a better wide receiver than anyone on their roster. So Excited to see what Trevor Lawrence can do this season. The Carolina Panthers, depending on who they get a quarterback, because Derek Carr is available, Lamar Jackson is available, Aaron Rodgers is available. They get a decent quarterback. They could possibly win that division because Tom Brady's gone. Alvin Kamara could be off the team due to legal reasons. The Falcons are still in rebuild mode, so that division's wide open. And the Panthers, with a decent, competent quarterback, they could win the division. So keep an eye on the Panthers. Who else? The Broncos, I think Sean Payton deserves, the nod to say this could be the guy that turns around the disaster of last year. You get in Javonte Williams back from injury. You get someone who has been a legendary coach in the NFL with the Saints. So if someone can fix that mess that was the Broncos last season, it's him. So definitely keep an eye out for that. The Steelers, keep an eye on the Steelers. They're always someone you need to keep your eye on, no matter how they look. I think Kenny Pickett takes another step in his career. He improves a little bit more, and with not Pickett, George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, and Najee Harris improving as well. I think they can make some noise. Maybe be a wild card team, but they'll definitely be fighting for that playoff for the playoffs this year, especially with TJ Watt hopefully being available for a full season, Minka Fitzpatrick, etc., etc. So look out for them. And obviously look out for the Jets. The Jets. It all depends who they get their quarterback. Also, the three quarterbacks we need to look out for this year: Rodgers, Carr, and Lamar Jackson. Wherever they go with the teams, look out for them. So the Jets, look out for the Dolphins as well. If everyone's fully healthy, they could definitely be a better team than they was last year due to injuries because they missed Tua for a good amount of time and they had to deal with Skylar Tompkins and Teddy Bridgewater. So hopefully they can improve from that. Okay. That was some of our NFL talk. Up next, we got some NBA talk, something I've been wanting to get into for a while. So first one, most recently, maybe like a week or two ago, not recently, but LeBron James makes history. He passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the leader of points in the regular season. He passed it against OKC, a little fadeaway over Kenrich Williams. I'm the dumbass that chose, hey, I don't think he's making history tonight. I think he'll make history against Milwaukee. It makes the most sense. Kareem played for Milwaukee and LA. It'll be in LA versus Milwaukee. So I'm thinking he doesn't score more than 30 and he breaks the record then. But nope. He decides to go for history and faces the Thunder and scores 38 points, I believe. 38 points against the Thunder and gets the record. So shout out to LeBron. Definitely one of the greatest players in our generation, especially my generation that I've got to watch as a Celtics fan. All the games against the Cavs and the Heat, having beaten LeBron and lost to LeBron plenty of times. So it's just nice to witness greatness in our history. Is he the greatest scorer of all time? That could be a good debate. One we will have down the road because it's a lot of intangibles that goes with that. Efficiency, how they scored, how much they scored, how many shot attempts, et cetera, et cetera. So, hey, congrats to LeBron for making history. He deserves it. Also, some injury news. Zion Williamson has another setback in his young career. I think it's a hamstring injury or a lower body region injury, and he'll be missing more time outside of the All-Star break. So the Pelicans team was a second-seeded team when he was healthy. So if Zion's healthy, the Pelicans can make some noise. But if not, they could easily be a first-round exit. So because this whole franchise lies on Zion being healthy. Because I don't think they can contend with the other teams if Zion isn't healthy. So, and this has been Zion's knock almost his whole career for the last 2 or 3 years. Zion can't stay healthy this, Zion can't stay healthy that. So, well, my thing is just get healthy. Maybe switch up your routines. Maybe that's the reason why, or I don't know exactly what his reasons are, but they need you on the court. And if you want to have a good NBA career, you have to be healthy. Availability is the best ability. So I enjoy watching Zion play because big body, rebounds, etc. Crazy alley oops, power, and everything. But he needs to also learn to take care of himself. Maybe develop that jump shot more, so he's not in the paint as much, not banging bodies with all the other guys in the paint. So, hey, and also the Pelicans have a good team around him: Alvarado, Ingram, C.J. McCollum, Jonas Valanciunas, Herbert Jones, Trey Murphy. They have a very good team with depth, and with the right star player with Zion, they could definitely make some noise in the West. So I'm excited to see when healthy that Pelicans team perform. And very short podcast from me this week, just because we don't have everyone here, and I don't want to waste your all time going off for an hour or two and just talking, because obviously we don't want to go on for forever, because I think the shorter the podcast, the better, because I don't think anyone's going to want to listen to a 2 hour long podcast or hour and a half. So we're doing our best to try to cut time down. So I think this is a good start in cutting time down. Since it's just me, obviously topics will go by a lot faster. This is just my opinion. So we got the last one of the day, the halfway awards. It says today's the last day. I'm recording this on a Thursday. It's the day before All-Star Weekend. It says All-Star Weekend starts on the Friday. So this is the last game that we played for NBA teams for the next 9 days, minus the All-Star game on Sunday and all the events coming up this weekend. So here are my picks for the halfway awards. Coach of the Year. It might be a little bit biased. Just a little bit. A wee bit biased. But, sorry. This one. Coach of the Year. Joe Mazzulla. Obviously, with all the drama going on with the Celtics in the offseason, with I forgot his name already. With their coach, etc., etc., their former coach, because I think they made it today. They made official as of Thursday, February 16th. They made Joe Mazzulla their official head coach. So, what was his name? Damn. So with all the drama with Nia Long, and I can't believe I'm blanking on this man's name. Celtics coach. I know when I look it up. How can I not remember his name? Oh, Ime. Okay, sorry, Ime Udoka. Ime Udoka. A lot of drama with him and the whole allegations and the whole business office drama, which I'm not going to get into. But going through all that and having to step from your assistant coach role to the head coach role and leading the Celtics to a number 1 seed in the East and one of the best probably the best record in the NBA right now, definitely deserves some praise, because a lot of people expected like a step down with Udoka from Mazzulla, but with the way the Celtics have been performing, I think he deserves to be at the top of that list for Coach of the Year. So that's my pick. It could be biased, but hey, I'll admit it's biased, but hey, I think he deserves to have his name at least in the conversation with everything he's done. Sixth Man of the Year. So a lot of people this might be another biased pick, but Malcolm Brogdon. But if I didn't have to be biased, it's either Russell Westbrook or Norman Powell, because I think Russell Westbrook went from being a starter to a sixth man for the Lakers. I don't know what role he's going to have for the remaining year. Probably a starter, because the Clippers are interested in him. The Bulls are interested in him, and the Heat are interested in him. And I think he'll be a starter on all those teams. So I think his name should be out of the conversation if he's going to be a starter the rest of the year. So Brogdon and Norman Powell are both phenomenal scorers off the bench. Brogdon has had some very good buckets in games for the Celtics, and Powell for the Raptors, I believe. So I think those names belong in the conversation. But if Russell Westbrook is eligible, I think he should be able to have a name in the conversation as well. So, but if we're talking the first half of the year, give it to Russell Westbrook, just because he's had near triple-double games almost every single game, and he's one of the reasons why the Lakers have been decent. And the Lakers are 1-5 without Russell Westbrook. So if I had to give a first halfway award to sixth man, it'll be Russell Westbrook. Defensive Player of the Year. We are heading to Memphis for this game. Jaren Jackson has been on a tear with blocks and holding down the paint this entire year. I think there was a stretch where he was averaging 2 to 3 blocks a game. I think he still is. I don't know his exact blocks per game number, but it should be close to maybe a little like high 1.5, between 1.5 and 2.2, between that range. But he has been an elite level blocker and holding down the paint. So, and plus, I don't think Rudy Gobert has done enough to get that award again. So I think Jaren Jackson is one of the elite shot blockers in the league. So him and Giannis is always in the conversation, but I think Jaren Jackson has been that guy defensively this year. So shout out to Jaren, especially with all the drama the Grizzlies are going through after Josh saying he's found in the West and everyone moving to the West. So shout out to Jaren. Most improved. My another biased pick, and hey, this is my pick, so you can agree or disagree with it if you want. Hey, if let me know what you guys um all-star picks slash award picks down in the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, let me know what you guys think. Also for the NFL stuff, what's your favorite player to watch, etc., MVPs, etc., etc. Most improved, Tyrese Halliburton. He's been a bright spot for the Pacers this year. He was very nice with the assists this year. I think he was leading the league in assists before he was injured. Now it's James Harden, but he's been a very nice playmaker this year. And shout out Wally Serbiak for giving him the fuel he needed. He called him a wannabe all-star, and now you fast forward to now, he's an all-star. So shout out to Trace Halliburton. I think he deserves a nod in the conversation of most improved. I know the Pacers aren't the best organization competitive wise, but he's been showing out, so he definitely deserves a nod. Rookie of the year. Benedict Mathurin was leading the race early in the season, but Paulo Banchero has been consistent and has been showing out in Orlando, so I'm gonna have to give it to Paulo. He's been scoring well, he's been rebounding well, he's been assisting here and there. So overall, I think he deserves it off of those three things, just because he's been all three of those well and consistent. Benedict Mathurin has had some inconsistent games. He was scoring well early on, but then obviously it kind of fell down a little bit because rookie wall. But I think Paulo has done a lot of things differently well for Orlando, so I think he should get that shot at the award. Obviously, going off the first half. So, okay, last one, and then a little bit of an outro. A little 30-minute, 40-minute podcast. MVP. A lot of people are saying Luka. A lot of people are saying Tatum, Giannis, Embiid, but there's one man in the West that plays for the team that Carmelo and Allen Iverson used to play for, the Denver Nuggets. That man is Nikola Jokic, triple-double machine. And I think I saw somewhere online, if Russell Westbrook didn't average a triple-double for so long, people would be more excited about Jokic shooting since he's a center. And I completely agree with that. We've seen too many triple-doubles in the last couple of years that it's gotten stale. But Jokic is averaging a triple-double, and his team has the best record in the West. And they think top 3 in the whole NBA. So, I mean, yes, it's boring that Jokic is probably will win this for a third time in a row. But at the end of the day, you have to give it to the best player that's performing and winning. And Jokic is a perfect combo with that. He's averaging a triple-double. Not a lot of people are doing that. I think he's the only one, I believe. Luka is close, but I don't think he is. And he has the best record in the West and top 3 in the NBA. But, I mean, you can't say Tatum because I think Jokic beats him in rebounds and assists. But, like I said, Jokic has he's one of the best playmakers, rebounders, and scorers in the league off of that. Off the average triple-double, because that's very hard to do. So, yeah, Jokic is your MVP, whether you like it or not. Going off of it's hard to say anyone else at this moment because Luka, you could say Luka, but his Mavs are 4th or 5th in the West. And I mean, Kyrie Irving can help, but they're not too competitive roster-wise. Tatum, best record in the East, and I think the best record of all time, the best record currently in the NBA, but his rebounds and assists are lacking. And his shot efficiency hasn't been the best this year sometimes. Sometimes he does have those games where he goes 4 for 19. Embiid, he needs to be healthy. I think Embiid has a solid case. Giannis always has a solid case, but the Bucks have been slipping here and there. And it hasn't been too competitive because they haven't been fully healthy. So it's hard to put Giannis there. So it has to be Jokic. Sorry to say it, but it is what it is. So, yeah, a short podcast, no draft because obviously it's only me this week. So just a reminder, if you're watching this, our NBA All-Star Weekend charity, our 3rd annual one is coming up this weekend. So this Friday through Sunday. It's me and Akeem, team left, right. You can see by my little name tag. Versus Elijah and John, Team EJ. Me and Akeem will be playing for the charity of the United Negro College Fund, the UNCF, and Elijah and John will be representing the charity of the American Red Cross. So the same concept as last year, but with teams. Also, we changed it up a little bit with the setup. We picked all the events, so Rising Stars, Skills Challenge, uh, dunk contest, 3-point contest, etc., etc., and the All Star. And we drafted, since the All Star game players won't be picked until like minutes before the game. We did a draft like last year. So with every right pick in the All Star events, so Rising Stars, Skills, 3-point, and dunk, you get $10 added to your charity. But with the wrong picks, you get 5. So that way you win no matter what. So that way the charity gets money either way. And for the All Star draft, we already did it. It should be uploaded later today. I don't know what time. I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe I think we uploaded it at 5. Not gonna lie. So at 5 p.m., check out the video. All our picks and our draft picks are made there. So the team with the highest amount of points gets $10 added to their charity, and obviously the second highest will get 5. So another charity event for a good cause. I'm excited to see how this plays out. And I like my picks because Akeem was busy, so obviously I had to draft for myself for the team, and then obviously Elijah and John drafted for their team back to back. So I'm excited to see how this draft goes. So with that being said, this has been another Ball Central podcast episode. Obviously a short one because it's just me this week. See, just a reminder, you can find us down below: YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor, Wednesdays or Fridays at noon. So thank you for tuning in. And next week, we get to go over the results of the All-Star Weekend charity. I'm excited to see how that breaks down. And with that being said, we will see you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in, and deuces.